Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Welcome, everyone, back to another enchanting episode of the Real Film Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, Matt, the man Hinshaw. That was really fucking lame.
Matt the man Hinshaw?
Yeah, that was really lame. I was trying to think what would be a good gangster nickname.
Oh, Senor Mateo.
Senor Mateo? It's not as good as Zapato.
No, Zapato can only be held by the person who has the biggest shoe.
Dude, I have bigger feet than you.
Well, then maybe you can be Zapato.
No, but yours is your name from, your legit name from school.
Yes. I told Mags the story about that, and she still doesn't understand why I chose the name Zapato.
It's the only one everybody remembers.
Yeah, I know. But it was just, she was like, why did you choose shoe? I was like, well, I didn't want to be a rose or a flower or whatever else everybody else was.
So, folks, as you can tell, there is my co-host, Mr. Shoe. Mr. Shoe, how are you doing today?
That's Shoe Mike Talent, by the way.
Shoe Mike Talent. Or is it Mike Shoe Talent?
No, I think it's Shoe Mike Talent.
Or is it Talented Mike Shoe?
No, not that one. Not that last one. All right, Matt. So, what are we talking about today? What are we reviewing?
To get back on topic, right? No, we're talking about shoes or...
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, before we do that, we should say, what are we drinking? Matt, what are you drinking?
Why am I the one that always has to go first? Because my beer sounds so lame compared to yours.
Well, I don't even know if I can pronounce the one I have of my beer.
I have one of my go-tos. It's nice and cheap and plenty of it. For those of you who know me or listen to this podcast, that'll be Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
Oh, nice, dude. Nice.
It's a good movie beer, too, because they always seem to be drinking it in movies.
Yeah, you're right. They do drink it a lot in movies. Mine is Schlafly, Schlafly, American IPA. Go figure.
Surprise, surprise. Mike has another IPA. Although this one he can't pronounce.
Yeah, Mags actually got this on sale for me, so shout out to Mags.
Well, that's nice of her. Where did she get it on sale at? What store? The Walmarts?
The local Total Wine.
All right, so Mike, I gave you Lord of the Flies. All the answers to life are in that book.
And that's a quote from the movie that we're reviewing today, Cold Pursuit. And Cold Pursuit is directed by Hans Peter Moland. Writers are Frank Baldwin and Kim Phoops Atkinson. It's starring Liam Neeson, Laura Dern, Mikhail Richardson, Michael Eklund, Bradley Stryker, and this movie's about a snow plow driver seeks revenge against the drug dealers he thinks killed his son, based on the 2014 Norwegian film In Order of Disappearance.
Which was directed by the same guy.
It was, yes.
So he remade his own movie 5 years later.
Yeah, and that's might be why it's a little bit strange.
Well, the Norwegian comedy is very dark.
So I guess starting right off, Matt, do you think this was supposed to be a dark comedy?
Hell yeah, it was. How the hell was it not? Dude, it's very reminiscent of Fargo, but not quite as dark as Fargo.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, for me, the thing that was a little strange with this, and Matt, don't let me forget to bring up your situation when you watch this movie. But
Oh, crap. Did you read my Facebook post?
yes, I did. Anyway, actually, when I watched this movie, there was a lot of people talking. I don't know what it was about. And I was like, I strategically sat myself far away from people, and still they were talking. It was annoying. But this movie's story is a little weird because I thought it should be all about Liam Neeson and his son. And then it gets into this kind of... A lot of the story was about the bad guy, and then there was a lot of story about this other group.
It kind of turns into like a gang warfare story.
Yeah,
instead
it kind of jumped. It kind of jumped stories, which was weird for me. Because it was like your classic kind of revenge movie for a little bit. A little bit of an introduction to stuff and all that, and then changes.
Dude, there was a lot of layers to this film as well, if you sit down and think about it.
Yeah, no, there was, and everything, a lot of stuff was intertwined in different ways that it wasn't quite, like, it didn't all, of course, come together until the end, but you're like, oh.
Yeah, well, I mean, I enjoyed it. Was it a phenomenal movie? Do I think everybody and their mom should go see it? No. But it was entertaining. I liked it. You know, I liked some of the dark humor. Like every single time someone died, they put up a placard with their particular religious symbol that they believe in and their name. I thought that was hilarious.
At first, I didn't understand what he was doing. The first time it happened, I was like, what? What was that? Because I didn't understand the character's... I didn't know the character's name. And then it becomes quite relevant after.
The first death is Liam Neeson's son, right?
Yes.
And so they don't even really give you his name or really anything. They tell you his name after the fact.
Yeah.
Maybe that was on purpose. I don't know.
Yeah. It was okay. It was an okay movie. Not great, not terrible, but just okay.
Dude, the cinematography was pretty solid. You got to give him that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was very pretty.
Yeah. The cinematography was cool. I was wondering where they filmed it actually, and I looked. It was all filmed in Canada.
Yeah. That explains it. I mean, I've never been to Denver, but I was going to say it didn't seem like the town it takes place in Denver and this small town called what? Kehoe?
Yeah, Kehoe, yep.
And I'm like, it didn't seem like Kehoe was that far away from Denver, but it seemed like it was extremely high up in the mountains. Not like a little bit, extremely high up. I mean, there's like a permanent 6 or 7 feet of snow on the ground at all times.
Yeah.
In some places, and it's like, no, that's not close to Denver at all.
Yeah, did you look? Is Kehoe a real town outside of Colorado? Or outside of Denver?
I didn't look, no.
Okay, I meant to look because I was like, man, I kind of want to go there if that's a real place because that looked awesome.
No, I had a very busy weekend, so.
No, it's understandable, man. It's understandable. I know you're getting ready for the Poindexter Awards and you just get all disheveled.
Of course. Because they're going to be amazeballs, Mike.
Heck yeah. It's going to be the best Poindexter Awards we've ever done.
We got so many votes, it'll just make your mind spin.
Dude.
All 3 of them.
Man, mine's already blown.
Mine's already blown. Yep. No, Kehoe, I think that was interesting. I liked the little town. I thought that was cool. I don't know if it's real or not. I'm not from Colorado. I might have to ask some coworkers when I go in to work this week, but we'll see. I don't know. I'll look it up. Now you have me questioning it, especially where Liam Neeson's little house was in it. Man, that was pretty incredible.
Oh yeah, no, that was so amazing. Although it seems like it would be really tough to get there often if the conditions were as bad as the movie portrayed them to be.
Yeah, but he's a snow truck driver. He has no problem getting up there. And I mean, clearly, that is a perfectly acceptable home for a snow truck driver who probably makes at least $300,000 a year.
Yeah, dude, like all snow truck drivers do. You didn't know that?
I know some snow truck drivers, and they don't make that much.
What? Are you saying that they misled us? That's inconceivable.
What I was thinking through the whole thing is, it takes place, one of the big scenes takes place at the facility where all the snow trucks are and things, but it's not a government organization, and it's not a state organization, which is also government, but or federal organization. It's an independent kind of self-business. So I was wondering if maybe Liam Neeson started the snowplow business. And so maybe he's a business owner. Then he would definitely probably make enough money to have a home like that, I would think. I don't know.
Yes, definitely, probably.
Definitely, probably.
All right.
I'm just snowballing, man, because that house was cool.
That
house was really cool. It was real nice.
The house was really cool. The house was... And the snowplow stuff was actually kind of cool. Like, the two... Like, he drove around... Well, actually, there was multiple snowplows, but the one that just shot, like, snow in the air was freaking neat. Like,
that was more of a snow thrower than it was a snow plow.
Yeah, the snow thrower one, and like all these cars were behind it. Like, it was crazy. Like, and that's how people live in some places. So that was crazy.
Well, what was awesome too is how he pulls up to the road and there's a gate across it, so people are only allowed to go through when he's going up and down it, and they have to be right behind him.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he has, it's like a schedule, just like, so that they know, they're like, oh, we got to get going.
But no, it was pretty neat. And, his little shop and everything was pretty cool. It was on a nice little hill, and it was a lot more to it than just, a big truck with a shovel on the front.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a neat little insight.
Yeah. That's true. But
I was going to say, I touched on this a little bit in Hereditary. When we reviewed Hereditary, this film really has a lot of neat homes in it, neat looking homes. Like Viking's home, one of the villains' homes, is really, really a very cool house. Liam Neeson's character's house is really, really cool. And then the
downtown stretch is pretty cool. Wherever they filmed that was cool. So, like, whoever did the location scouting, thank you.
Oh, dude. And then his brother's house, Wingman's house.
Oh, that thing was, like, out of a storybook, dude. It was weird.
Yeah, that house was incredible. Incredible. Loved that house. Oh, man. Anyways, I just found it interesting how... relating to Hereditary, that people are really starting to use the architecture and the homes to tell their own kind of story as well. I kind of like that. It's neat.
That does lend to the feel of the movie and stuff. And you're right. The locations, all the locations in this movie were pretty awesome.
Well, it's just more than, hey, look, here's a normal ranch house, or hey, look, here's this big, gaudy, billionaire, stereotypical home. I mean, these are three very unique looking homes, all three of them, and they're pretty predominant characters' homes in the film, and they almost are their own character in their own right, and I really kind of like that. I think it added a little bit to the film, for sure.
No, you're right. It was cool. Wingman's place was like, what? Like, at first you're like, who is this guy? And then, well, we'll get to our spoilers here soon. But anyway, it was just like, wow.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, like, all the walls on the front of the house, 90% of them were glass, because it had just the most gorgeous panoramic view of probably Kehoe, where Liam Neeson is supposed to be at, is what I would assume they're trying to orchestrate. And it just, wow, it was beautiful.
Yeah, no, it was super. Yeah, you're right. It was really cool.
All right, Mike. So you want to get to spoilers. I know you're itching to talk about Taken in the Blizzard.
Yeah, well, we called it Taken in the Snow at work. So that's what I refer to, Taken in the Snow. Although this really isn't much of a Taken movie, turns out. The trailer made it seem like it was like that. but it's not really that much at all, in my opinion.
Well, Liam Neeson's character is for sure a revenge type character.
Yeah, but he's not. Yeah, yes. Okay.
The movie as a whole is not a Taken movie at all.
Right.
Do you think Liam Neeson's just starting to get typecast now as the revenge guy?
He's just trying to take advantage of Taken's success, and I understand that. And I believe he said this was his last quote-unquote action movie.
I don't know. But he's got to get paid, so...
Taken 1 through 3. The Stone... What it was... I don't remember some of the... There was a couple weird named movies that he was in, but they were kind of like Taken-ish also.
He was born in 52.
Yeah, dude, that's like, what, 71?
I don't know. I can't do math. It hurts my brains.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Well, but let's see. He's in Men in Black International.
Yeah, they're trying to get him digitally removed due to the controversy.
Yeah, I remember. We were discussing that on the last one.
He's 67.
You know one that I really liked that didn't get a lot of fanfare that he did that was kind of action-y? Was The Gray. I thought that was really good.
Oh, The Gray was really good. And that was right after Taken, I believe. So he'd just done Taken. He hadn't done Taken 2 or 3, and The Gray came out, and I went and saw that. I actually saw that at screening for free.
Wow.
I don't even remember. I think I signed up for some email or something, and I just wrote it off. Like, I didn't think I was going to get anything. And then they're like, yeah, you got it, so you can come for free. And I was like, sweet. So I went and saw The Gray at a screening for free a couple days before it came out. And, you know...
Taken was 2008. The Gray was 2011.
All right, a couple years.
But, yeah, no, that's one that I really enjoyed that I feel that not a lot of people have seen or heard of his. I really just love that movie. I thought it was shot really well. It's almost a one-person show kind of movie.
Almost entirely. It's almost all completely Liam Neeson, and it was awesome.
Yeah, he did such a good job. I loved it. Anyways. All right, Mike, so I know you're itching to spoil Cold Pursuit, a.k.a. Taken in a Blizzard, because Blizzard sounds better than snow.
All right. It does. Blizzard sounds... You know what we should call it? We should call it Taken in the Polar Vortex.
Taken in the Polar Vortex. All right. That's getting wordy. That's getting a little wordy.
All right. Taken in the Vortex. No, but...
Taken in the Vortex? See, now you're getting like Sedona.
Yeah, that doesn't quite sound right. Yeah, now it sounds like Sedona. All right. Anyway.
Dude, that would be a good sci-fi movie, though. I'll get on that. I'll start writing the script.
All right. Yeah, so I guess everybody from here on now, there's going to be spoilers. Matt, do we want to talk about
I didn't even get to ask you yet. You're jumping the gun.
All right.
So, Mike, how does Taken in the Blizzard relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Oh, well, that was a good question, and this one was this is a little bit harder. So I was able to find a Peter Hansen who worked in the sound department on Cold Pursuit, aka Taken in the Blizzard, was also in the sound department on Guardians of the Galaxy. But I had to dig deep, man. Usually don't get down to the sound department when we're looking at the cast and crew. So, whew.
Snow, Blizzard, digging deep. Like it. I like it, Mike. All right, go ahead. You're the one that's itching to pull the trigger on spoilers, so go for it.
Well, do we want to recommend this movie, Matt, before we tell them, or do we just start spoiling it, or what do we want to do?
Well, dude, if they want to hear our ratings and reviews, they can read it on our show notes, which I have to write laboriously. or they can just skip this whole part and go straight to the end.
Okay, well,
Like we always do. You're trying to change it up. We haven't hit our year yet, and you're trying to change it up, Michael.
no, I'm not. Okay, well then.
Yeah, you are.
No.
That's it. You want to change it up, you'll get to edit it.
Uh-oh. But then I can't be shoe talent Mike.
That's true. You won't be the talent anymore. We got to have you as the talent. Every show has a talent.
All right. So for me, the story was a little weird, and what I'm talking about for this spoiler part is the intermingling of this Native American tribe and this other the Vikings drug group, and Liam Neeson's character, Coxman. And then that actually kind of becomes like a little group as well, because his brother, Wingman, is also a Coxman. And I don't know, it was just it was just kind of a weird intertwined story, but there was a lot to do with sons in this. So
right, that's where the layering comes in.
yeah.
But it starts, it starts out with Liam Neeson's story of revenge, and then it morphs into Viking's story and his son, which then gets kidnapped by Liam Neeson. Spoilers.
Yeah, who almost got kidnapped by the Native Americans.
Right, and the Native Americans, they feel that the Native Americans are the ones that's taken out their guys, so the Vikings gang goes and grabs just a quote-unquote no-named, kind of bag man that's transporting drugs. They grab him, kill him, and hang him on a sign, not realizing that the guy that they killed is the only son of the Native American gang's leader.
Right, and it happened to be his first and only run.
Right.
Yeah. And so that was an interesting aspect of the story, and it kind of changes at that point. I mean,
yeah. So it's just like three different stories that are kind of intertwined about men and their only sons dying or getting taken.
Yeah.
And that's where the layering's coming in.
Yeah, you're right.
So if they would have not captured the Native American drug runner and killed him, you wouldn't have had this movie.
Well, yeah, I wasn't sure. To me, it seemed a little bit overly complex, and I'm not sure. I guess that's probably has to do with the original script and movie that this is remaking. But it just seemed a little, to me, it seemed a little bit too convoluted and a little bit odd. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
No, it's fine. But I see what you're trying to say. And then, the whole arc with the cops was just strange. They had two well-known actor and actresses playing the two main police officers, and they just kind of come off as they have no idea what's going on. They're just kind of a side story. Why even have that side story? Because you already have this really complicated, layered three father-son story that's crossing paths constantly, and then you try and distract us with the local cop story.
Yeah, and then, man, at the very end there, when I guess it's the police chief he finds the Viking leader guy. Does he say something like he knows him? Is that his dad? Or something?
I don't remember that.
But it seemed weird. I don't know. It seemed like he was trying to leave a message, and it seemed like the guy knew him. And it almost seemed like the cops were involved, or that particular cop had known about a lot of this stuff for a long time and just chose to look the other way because,
I don't know, Mike. I mean, I was not able to hear as well as I would have wanted when I went and watched Cold Pursuit at the first showing at 7:00 at Picture Show in Prescott, Arizona. Because,
yeah. Why did that happen, Matt? I alluded to this earlier, but why don't you go ahead and tell the audience?
I've discussed it before. It's very strange to me living in a small town and how many horrible experiences I've had going to the movies. I've gone to the movies in many places: California, LA, San Diego, Phoenix, Tucson, Flagstaff. The only places I've ever really had issues, again, this is right now, up to this point, has been in the smaller towns. I've had issues when I was back home in Sierra Vista, and I've had issues here in Prescott. There were two older ladies, I would estimate in their early to mid 70s, sitting 2 to 3 seats away from me, that literally started talking when the trailer started and stopped talking when the end credits rolled. If you're literally going to hold an entire conversation in a movie and people have asked you multiple times to quiet down or done the shush or whatever, you probably should just get up and leave or go home and stay home and talk. They talked through the whole thing, and I was not the only one that had an issue with it. There were people that were walking out with me that were like, Jesus, what the hell? I just need to get up and go get the manager. And if I get shamed, I get shamed. I don't know. It was absolutely ridiculous.
Matt, this kind of incident happened in a part of Florida, and a retired police officer got angry at some people talking, and he shot the person and killed them.
Are you serious?
In the theater.
Only in Florida. The Arizona of the East Coast.
Yeah, that was, of course, extreme. But even I experienced, I watched this movie this weekend, and I tend to, the particular theater that I go to has assigned seating, so I tend to assign myself seating that's far away from everyone else, because I don't want to deal with anything, because most people are terrible. Anyway, it was annoying. I was like, man, there was probably 7 or 8 seats away from me, and there were still people talking, and like, there was a point, this particular theater has reclining seats, and I think something fell in the seats, which is not uncommon, but instead of waiting until the movie was over, they proceeded to turn on their flashlight on their phone and look for it. Right in the middle of the movie, I'm like, what? Was it not going to go anywhere? Like, what are you doing right now? This is so dumb. I wanted to yell at them, but I didn't, because I was just, I couldn't believe it. And then having, so I watched this movie after your experience. I was like, what is it about this movie? Does this movie just attract people that will do this?
Well, that's where I was going to go with this. Do you think this is a cultural shift, Mike, because people are constantly consuming media at all times of their life? So now when they're in a place that's designated to be quiet and dark and calm, they feel like they're just sitting in their living room couch and talking?
It probably is getting to that point. I almost want them to collect my cell phone. I don't even want to have it. There's a comedian, I don't remember who it was exactly, but they came and they were touring around the country, and they had this thing where during their show you had to put your cell phone in some kind of pouch thing. Now you still get,
and it blocks all the signals.
Well, you still got to keep it. So no, it didn't block the signals, but if it vibrated or whatever, you had to go outside of the venue to open it. It had some kind of weird
it had like a lock.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, interesting.
Had some kind of locking mechanism. I'm not exactly sure how they did it. Geofencing or something. Some kind of, probably through Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. Signal strength and stuff like that. But anyway.
Well, wasn't like a Perfect Circle or Tool doing something like that?
I don't know, but I really, really would appreciate, like, I go to a lot of concerts, and so, I'll take a picture or two of the show, but for the most part now, I just want to enjoy the show, because it's live music and it never comes off the same as the phone or the camera anyway. And I don't know. I wish we would just live in the moment more instead of trying capturing it for the world.
Well, I agree. And 90% of those people that sit there and hold their cell phone up the entire time, videotaping the entire concert, they're never going to go back and look at that footage probably ever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they might upload it on the user, the Snapchats, or I don't even know what the kids use anymore. Maybe they're Facebook Live in it. Like, I have seen people on, like, FaceTime. They're like, hey man, you're missing this. And then they like show it and they're like, and then they try and talk to them for like another 20 minutes. I'm like, what? What? Why?
That's ridiculous. Why? So basically what you're saying, Mike, is you and I are starting to become crotchety old men and these kids are starting to annoy us.
Yep. You got it, man.
All right, well, I got one. I have not gotten to go to this particular theater because it is not real close, the one that is in Phoenix. It's not real close to my sister's house, but I don't know if you've ever heard of this movie theater. It is now a chain, but it started out in Austin, Texas. It is called the Alamo Drafthouse.
Oh, you got to go to one of those?
They have one in Phoenix, but I have not made it over there because it's so far away from where my sister's house is. So
I heard they have some crazy rules about stuff.
Yes, the Alamo Drafthouse is hardcore. They're for legitimate movie goers. It was started by hardcore movie fans. They actually even have their own production company now where they help produce a lot of films, smaller films, obviously. But they do all kinds of really cool, awesome stuff, especially for shows that movies that they bring in special. Like my buddy Steve went and saw Yellow Submarine by the Beatles at Alamo Drafthouse.
Oh, okay, cool.
And it was a sing-along. It was not just, oh, here's the movie. It was like a sing-along, and they had the words and everything, and he said it was just an incredible experience. But so there was one, I don't remember what it was. My other buddy that also listens to this podcast, Patrick, he loves to go to the Alamo Drafthouse. He's a big-time movie fan like you and I, huge. And I don't remember what movie it was that they saw, but it was an older movie. It had been out for a while. They'd put it back in the theaters for something, and they gave everybody like, it was either like a laser pointer gun or it was like a Nerf gun or something. And when like this villain came on screen, you were supposed to shoot the screen.
Oh, that's pretty fun, man. That sounds great.
So they do all this cool, fun, neat stuff. But one of the biggest selling points of the Alamo Drafthouse for me personally is this right here. They have a couple rules and they're really hardcore. You talk during the movie. They come, they escort you out, you don't get your money back. You turn on your cell phone in the movie theater. They come and get you, they escort you out. Your cell phone rings. They come and get you, they escort you out. They don't screw around. Period.
Oh man, that sounds amazing. I might want to pay like $10 or whatever. I don't know. I don't know if they're more expensive than anybody or what kind of rates they have, but
I'm not sure. And like I said, it used to be just a single, movie theater in Austin, Texas, but it is expanded. And one of the handful of places it's expanded to is Phoenix. And so there's one in LA, there's one in Austin, there's one in New York, there's one in Phoenix.
Neat, man. Very neat.
There might be more than that, but next time you're out here visiting, we definitely have to go there, at least for one show. If we have to like waste an entire day and see a movie we don't even care about, just so you can experience it, we're going to go to Alamo Drafthouse.
All right, man. Sounds like a deal.
So, all right. Well, before we get too long, Mike, how many reels do you give Cold Pursuit?
I'm going to give it a solid 2.5 reels.
2.5 reels. Wow. So you thought this was below average?
it was just, to me, it was just okay. And for me, okay is 2.5 reels.
All right. Well, Mike, I give it 3.5 reels. I liked it. I thought it was a little bit above average based on the cinematography, based on the cool houses. The acting was decent. I didn't have any qualms with it. I liked the story, but I agree with you. The story is very complicated, very convoluted, almost full of itself kind of story. So that's what brought it down to a 3.5 for me. But again, like I said, I'd say it's just a little bit above average.
All right, man. That's fair. So would you recommend watching this in the theaters?
The only thing I would say about going and watching it in the theater is that if there's nothing else coming out, or you've seen everything else out, because there isn't anything really hardcore coming out that I want to see until this upcoming weekend. So if you want to go see a movie, say, tonight on Tuesday, I'd say go check it out, because the cinematography, like I said, is great. It's worth it for that. Now, if you're strapped for cash, or you don't have AMC A-list, or you don't have another one of those, or you can't find a babysitter, you can pass on this. It'll probably be just as good on Netflix. But again, if you're hardcore like Mike and I, and you really want to go see a movie, I would recommend go for it. But it's not a must see in the theater.
Yeah. So I agree with that assessment. If you like going to movies and stuff, and you want to go see Liam Neeson in action once again, this is another one where he's doing his thing. It's not as much him, but it's still, it's still pretty good.
It's very unique.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would definitely say that. It's unique.
All right. Well, Mike, I don't have anything else other than, make sure and tune in Thursday for our 1-year anniversary super expialidocious, stupendous, incredible, amazing, first ever Poindexter Awards / 1-year anniversary of the Real Film Nerds podcast, because we almost didn't make it multiple times. So we're going to celebrate like mad.
Yes. Yeah, everybody, you've got to tune into that. You've got to tune into it. It's going to be awesome.
I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So other than that, Mike, I don't have anything else. Go ahead, take us out of here, man.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next awesome Poindexter Awards podcast.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now, go out and catch a movie.